Welcome to the Gateway to Grace call. My name's Elizabeth Tobin. I'm a certified resonance repatterning practitioner. And today we're going to do a resonance repatterning session. We've got a group of people here on this call live that will be included in the group field. If you're listening to the recording or watching the video after this session, you can set your intention and be included. We also have some people who had asked to be included by proxy as the session is being done. So, where are we going to go today? It's always an adventure in transformation when we do resonance repatterning, just tapping into the group energy field and seeing what the group field is asking for, what patterns we're going to identify and shift. When we do resonance repatterning, we're identifying frequency patterns that we are resonating with. We are also identifying frequency patterns that we're not resonating with. So it's like flicking switches. We're turning on the energy of the positive patterns that we're not resonating with. We're turning off the energy of the negative or the non-coherent patterns that we are resonating with. So at this time, what I'd like to do is just invite you to turn off all of your other devices. Just bring yourself into the present moment. Give yourself the gift of really being present for this session. Just take a pause and close your eyes and connect with your breath, relaxing into your center. And as you breathe in, breathe all the way down into your lower back. Fill up your belly like a balloon, expanding out at your ribs. Nice long exhales. And check in with your body and notice any places of holding or tension. And as you breathe in, just breathe into those areas, filling them up with energy and breath and light. And as you breathe out any holding, any tension. And just feel yourself release and relax and let go. And now bring your attention into your heart center. And as you breathe in, take in that unconditional love that flows throughout the universe. And as you breathe out, send out that unconditional love that resides within you. So there's a perfect balance, a perfect exchange of energy and love on the inflow and on the outflow. And know that you're surrounded by love, both within and without. And we surround ourselves in the healing energy of divine love. Only our deepest wisdom and highest guidance come through in this session. This session brings about the highest healing, transformation, and coherence for each of our highest and best. Each one of us accepts the full benefit that this session offers. We thank our highest guidance for assisting us in this process And we give thanks for the gift of resonance repatterning and the greater well-being made possible through this session. And so it is. And now I'm going to ask your permission to include you as part of the group field for this session. So may I have permission to include you in the session and muscle check your field as part of the group field? And you can say yes if you'd like to be included and take part in the session. Sharon says thumbs up. Excellent. Friedrich says thumbs up. Beautiful. And if you're watching the recording, you can set your intentions now. You just say yes. I give my permission to be included in the session. It's as simple as that. With your intention and permission and my intention to include you, we can facilitate great change. So let's see where we're going to go today. There are different ways of entering into a resonance repatterning session when we do a group. And the best way to find out what is needed is just to ask the group energy, what is needed here. Just want to check in with you, Deborah. You have your hand muted. Your hand raised here.
No, I meant to do a thumbs up.
Oh, okay.
Sorry.
No problem. I'm just going to lower your hand here. Excellent. Good. And I'm going to just mute everybody. Beautiful. Okay. So let's see where we're going to go here. So like I mentioned, there are lots of different ways to enter into a resonance repatterning session. And the most effective way is to use the muscle checking tool, the kinesiology, that's part of the repatterning process, to tap into the group field. So all of the information comes from the group field, from you, from your energy field, the group field as a whole. And we find out exactly what's needed in each stage of the session. So at this time, it would be best for us to do a seat of transformation. It would be best for us to do a proxy session with the group input. It's best for us to start with just a straight up proxy session. Yes, okay. So you can see me doing this. This is muscle checking the group field. This is an on response or a yes response. This is an off. Sometimes I might do this as an on response or an off. Sometimes I do that. So a straight up proxy group session. So this is where I'm going to proxy for the group. So the information from the group field is going to flow through me as the voice of the group. And I'm going to sort of speak for the group and find out what is needed. So at this time, it's best for us to start with something from orientation. Yes. So as a group, we're going to start with something from orientation. And you can think of orientation as a way to reset your inner compass so that you naturally move towards what supports you, you move away from what drains you. And when you're oriented, you are present in your body, you're oriented to your environment, you know where you are in terms of time and space. And also, you know, sort of where you are, you're connected to your essence in relation to other people. So there are different aspects of orientation. So I'm going to just check here to see which aspect we need as a group right now. And I'm just going to check here. So the orientation that we need at this time is something from orientation to self. Yes. Okay. And there are different options. So I'm just going to go down the option list here and find out from the group what's needed. So we need something from part A. We need something from part B. Yes. So there's an oriented action that we need and an oriented feeling. Yes. Okay. So just going to go to that part of the process here and see what we need in terms of what oriented action and feeling would be best for us at this time. So the oriented action that we need is something from the list, and it's something from number 1. It's something from number 2. It's something from number 3. Yes. So there are a few different options here. It's number 1. It's number 2, number 3, number 4, number 5. Okay. So this is about joining a new group. So I enjoy joining a new group. And so what I'm doing is I'm typing this because it's going to be some information that comes up in the session. I take notes, I type it so we can keep all the information organized. And that's, I think, for me, one of the beauties of the repatterning process is the elegance of the system and how it is highly organized, and it keeps us laser focused on exactly what are the patterns that we need to transform, what is needed to bring us all to a higher state of coherence, well-being, energy, awareness. So I enjoy joining a new group as a grand adventure. Toward the outcomes I want to manifest. Okay, so I'm going to pop this into the chat here. Maybe I'm not going to pop it into the chat. Okay, here we go. All right, so popping that into the chat. So repeat after me. This is a general check. Okay, so repeat after me. Say, I enjoy joining a new group as a grand adventure. And sorry, leading me toward the outcomes I want to manifest. Okay, so right now we're not resonating with that. And that's okay, because in this process, we're only looking at what needs to change. So if we were already resonating with this, it wouldn't be coming up in the session as something that we need to look at. Okay, so we're not resonating with that. So we'll say that is off. Okay. So now we're going to look at what is the oriented feeling that we need in order to really fully embody this enjoyment of joining a new group that leads us towards the outcomes we want to manifest. So the feeling that we need is something from the list, and it's something from number 1. It's number 2. Yes. It's having confidence. So I have confidence in myself and in my ability to create and achieve what is good for me and my life. Beautiful. So pop that into the chat. So this is a general check. Okay, so repeat after me. Say, I have confidence in myself and in my ability to create and achieve what is good for me and my life. Okay, so looks like we're resonating with that, but we know since this is a positive pattern that we're going to switch on, that right now we're not resonating with it. So what we're doing is we're kind of cross-referencing these patterns that I've identified here on your system to verify. So I'm going to do a neutral charge here, putting it over my belly button. We're going to check this pattern at a core level. And yeah, we are off for that. So we have like no energy for that right now in the context of this session. So it's kind of like a flat line. If you think about wave patterns, you know, they go like in a sine wave. And this pattern is like a flat line in the absence of energy. Okay. And so usually when it's an umbilical check like that, it's a core pattern that we've moved out of resonance with at a very young age, perhaps even prenatal, or it could even be a generational pattern passed down through the family, or something from a past life that we're not resonating with here. Okay, so that's umbilically off. So just take a little pause and just notice what that feels like in your body when you think about, you know, having the confidence in yourself and in your ability to create and achieve what's good for you. Just notice what that feels like in your body. You might notice there's maybe a little bit of tension, or there could be like a pit in your stomach. I'm noticing there's a little tightness around my heart. So that's sort of the physical manifestation of the absence of that positive frequency pattern. Okay. So there's something more at this time that we need from orientation. No. So it's best for us to do a modality to switch these patterns on at this time. Okay, so that's not needed. So we're going to see what's next. So at this time, we need to go back to the mandala. Yes. I'm going to show you the mandala here. So this is the mandala. This is 6 different aspects of the resonance repatterning process. And just looking at this can raise your energy, can make you feel more relaxed, centered, and grounded. This is an image of sacred geometry. So what we need here is something from problems into opportunities. We need an intention for a new possibility. There is a specific repatterning that we need to look at this time. Yes. So we'll see what we need. Now, the repatterning that's needed is something from A. It's something from B. Something from C. Something from D. Something from part E. Something from part F. Something from G. H. Something from I. Something from J. Okay, we're going to do something from healing the family system. And the repatterning that we need comes from healing the family system part 1. Yes. Okay. So let me go to that index. So these repatternings for healing the family system are a synthesis of Bert Hellinger's family constellation work, Carl Jung's work with archetypes, the resonance repatterning process, Gestalt therapy. They were developed by a resonance repatterning practitioner named Magui, who also had studied family constellation therapy and a lot of other sort of family therapy systems. And she integrated them all into this one process with these repatternings. So the repatterning that we need at this time is something from number 1. It's number 2. It's number 3. Yes, okay. So this is the balance between giving and taking repatterning. And there's something that we need to hear from the introduction. Yes, okay. So let's see what we need here. So the balance between giving and taking repatterning. What we need to hear is something from this page. It's something from here, here, here. Okay, so this is talking about how in this kind of energetic dance of giving and taking, or you could think of it as giving and receiving, the person who gives occupies a superior position and feels it as a right, as if they have to receive from the person to whom they gave to. Instead, the one who takes feels like they're in debt. And I think this goes to that old adage about it's better to give than to receive, which actually, the true translation, it's better to be in a position to be able to give than in a position to have to receive. So there's sort of like an imbalance of energy where the person who's giving might feel superior. It's not necessarily the best energetic stance, but it's a common energetic stance where the person who gives feels superior. The person who is receiving feels indebted. Okay. So only if the latter ends up giving, then they'll feel free from this debt. So then there's a reciprocity there. The person who receives then wants to give something in return to balance out the energy. So for example, when we're invited over someone's house for dinner, right? Then we might feel like, okay, we want to bring a dish. That's sort of an offering that we bring as a way to give back, or we might reciprocate the invitation and then invite them over to our house. So there's balance. So then there's something more we need to hear. Something from here, something from this page, something from here, something from here, 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 here. Okay, so then it talks about when giving and taking occurs between people who aren't peers, as in the case of children and parents, or students and teachers. So then in the case of like children and parents, there's an insurmountable gap in terms of the parents give life to the children, and there is no expectation that the children give back, because they can never give back to the parents in that way, right? There's an insurmountable gap. So the children receive life fully through the parents, and for the same reason, the bond remains no matter what. The solution is that the children then, instead of trying to repay the debt to the parents, the children should pass on what they've received from their parents, either to their own children, or maybe they pass it on through their work, through their projects, through their commitment to others. And that's sort of how the energy of life keeps flowing. So let's see, there's something more we need to hear from the introduction. No, okay. So we'll see. Maybe that made sense to you, maybe not. Maybe it might make sense as we go through the repatterning. So in terms of this repatterning, we need something from this section here. Okay, so the first thing, let me just check here. I need to identify the relationship. No, so what I want you to do is just take a moment and identify for yourself a relationship in which you feel that there's an imbalance between giving and taking. And then there's something from here that's needed. Yes, it's number 1. It's number 2. Okay. So the imbalance that we're going to work with is we are taking more than we give. And I'm just going to see here, in order to facilitate this, I need to fill in the blank. No. So what you're going to do, this is a general check. You're going to say, in my relationship with blank. So you're going to fill in the blank, which relationship you have chosen. In my relationship with blank, I take more than I give. And we're resonating with that. And so it could be a person, it could be a group of people, it could be life itself. I don't know, we'll see. So that is resonating. And sometimes we can take good and we can take bad in the relationship. So then there's something that's needed from this section. So I'm just going through and checking to see which parts of this repatterning are needed. There's something from here. Yes, okay. So it's something from 1 through 5, 6 through 10, number 6, number 7, number 8. I don't know how to give is the pattern that we need to switch off. And this is a general check. So repeat after me, say, I don't know how to give. And we're resonating with that. Very interesting. So let me put this into the chat box. And this might make sense to you. It may not. But you can think about, take a moment and just sort of contemplate the relationship that you've chosen for this repatterning. And you might contemplate, what is it like when you try to give in the relationship? Maybe the other person has trouble receiving from you. Maybe you try to give advice, they don't take advice. I don't know. So we need to look at something from this section, yes. So this is the coherent or the positive pattern that we need. And it's something from 1 through 5. It's number 1, number 2, it's number 3, it's number 4. I stop being a victim and I assume my power. So that's the pattern that we need. Popping it into the chat box. So this is a general check. So repeat after me, say, I stop being a victim. And I assume my power. Okay, checking umbilically without repeating it. Yeah. So right now we're flatlining on that one. There's no energy for not being a victim and stepping into our power. And so if you think about this, how this relates to what we started with at the beginning, that orientation statement about feeling confident and capable of being able to do and achieve what's good for us, right? So we can see how not being a victim and assuming our power is going to help us to have that confidence in ourselves and in our abilities. Then there's something that we need to look at from this section. Yes, okay. So this next one it's the non-coherent or the negative pattern that we perceive in the other person. So when we're trying to give in this relationship, there's a negative projection that we're perceiving the other person. And oftentimes it seems like the other person is the issue. But once we change our resonance with our perception of them, then the way that we perceive them changes. So what we need here is something from 1 through 5, 6, 7. So what comes up is blank has a lot to give me. So this is a general check. So repeat after me. And so you're going to fill in the blank with that person's name or that group or whatever, who or whatever it was that you chose as the focus for this session for you, this relationship. Blank has a lot to give me. So say that. Yeah, and we're not resonating with that. So it would be hard for us to receive from them if we don't perceive them as having much to give us of value, right? So it'd be interesting in the days and the weeks ahead, notice how shifting this perception changes your experience of the person in the relationship. Okay, so now let's see what we need here. So we need the coherent pattern around this. Yes, we do. Okay, so this is, let's see here. Oh, hold on, I'm just going to take a little pause here. So that was, blank has a lot to give me. Yeah, we're not resonating with that. So now we need to look at the non-coherent pattern. No, okay. So there's something from this section that we need to look at. No, okay. So there's something from here that we need. Yes, okay. So it's something here from number 1, number 2, number 3. So this is, again, our perception of the other person. So they accept feeling vulnerable. So when they accept feeling vulnerable, it strengthens the relationship and it allows you to be able to give more. And this is a general check. Okay, so I'm going to put this into the chat box here. General check. So repeat after me. Say blank accepts feeling vulnerable with me. And this strengthens our relationship. Okay, I'm going to check that umbilically. So it's umbilically off. So again, another core pattern here. And it makes sense that we've got these umbilical muscle checks. See, as we're dealing with family patterns, right? Ancestral, generational core patterns for us. Okay. So what's needed here is we need to look at the negative that we take. In this relationship. So it's something from the list here. It's from 1 through 5, 6 through 10. It's number 6. It's number 7. It's number 8. It's number 9. Ah, so bad temper. So in my relationship with blank, I take bad temper from them. So maybe you experience irritation from them, or you experience them being in a bad mood a lot. So just think about the relationship and how does their bad temper show up in the relationship and affect you? So this is a general check. So say, in my relationship with blank, I take bad temper from them. Yeah, and we're resonating with that. Maybe they do a lot of complaining to you. Maybe you're on the receiving end of that. So there's something from this section we need. Yeah, so this is the positive that we need to take in the relationship. And it's something here from the list. It's 1 through 5, 6 through 10, 11 to 15. It's 11. It's 12. So we need to take honesty. So maybe there's an aspect in the relationship where, it's not quite honest communication. Or maybe there's something that they are trying to be honest with you about and you're not able to receive it. And this is a general check. Yes, okay. So say, in my relationship with blank, I take honesty. Yeah, and we're not resonating with that. So maybe we feel we can't be honest with them. Maybe they feel they can't be honest with us. Or maybe we're not able to honestly see them for who they honestly, truly are. Maybe our perception of them needs to be more honest, whether for good or for ill. So there's something from this section that's needed. There's something from this section. Yes, okay. So this is around taking the negative in the relationship. And it's something here from number 1, number 2. And this is a general check. So what came up is I suffer. So in the relationship, I suffer. And this is a general check. So say I suffer. Yeah, and we're resonating with that. And just take a little pause. Connect into your center. Stay connected to your body. Connected to your breath as we move through these patterns. Okay, there's something from this section. Something from this section. Something from this, yes. So this is the positive in the relationship. And it's something here from 1 through 5, 6 through 10, number 6, number 7. It's number 1, it's number 2. So rather than suffering, we're moving from suffering to well-being. So in my relationship with blank, I give well-being. And that's the best way to word it. This is a general check. Okay. So repeat after me. Say, in my relationship with blank, I give well-being. Okay. I'm going to check that umbilically. Yeah, we have no energy for that right now. Whew. So there's something from here that's needed. There's something from here, something from here. So this is the positive pattern or the coherent pattern related to giving in a way that benefits the other person. And it's something from the list here from 1 through 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is about I see and listen to them. And I give them what they need. And this benefits both of us. And this is a general check. So repeat after me. Say, I see and listen to blank. I give them what they need. And this benefits both of us. Yeah, and we're not resonating with that right now. So we need to do this. Yeah, we're going to do this modality. This is how we're going to make an input of energy into the group field in order to shift these patterns. So let's see what we need here. It's something here from A through E. It's F, it's G. Okay, so what I want you to do is close your eyes and imagine you're there facing the person that you're in the relationship with for this repatterning. Drop down into your heart. Take a few breaths and center within yourself. And you're going to say to this person out loud, you say, I can restrain myself. And not take in order to keep balance in this relationship. And we need to do this again. Yes. Okay. So again, holding that image of the person that you're in the relationship with. And you say to them out loud, you say, I can restrain myself. And not take in order to keep the balance in this relationship. And this is complete? Yes. Okay. Okay. And just notice what that feels like inside your body. You may have noticed maybe there was a little bit of a relaxation. Maybe you noticed a little expansion in your heart area, or maybe some tension. released. Maybe you feel a little bit more grounded. Oftentimes I feel kind of like a shoring up or an alignment in my core. Okay, I'm just going to check here. There's another modality that's needed, yes. And it's something from here, yes, okay. So now, let's see what's needed here, okay. So now they need to say something to you, and it's something from A through E, F, G. Okay, so now I want you to, again, close your eyes. And imagine the person you're doing this repatterning, that relationship. Connect with your breath, center within yourself. And I'm going to proxy for them, and they're going to say to you, and they say to you, I honor and acknowledge all that you give me. I honor and acknowledge all that you give me. I honor and acknowledge all that you give me. And this is complete. Yes. Okay. Just take a little pause and sort of let that all settle in. Okay. There's another modality that we need. No. Okay. So now we're going to go back and recheck the statements. We're going to confirm what has shifted. Okay. So I'll let that settle in there. Okay. So repeat after me. Say, I enjoy joining a new group as a grand adventure, leading me toward the outcomes I want to manifest. Yeah, and we're resonating with that now. Excellent, excellent. Good. And say, I have confidence in myself. And in my ability to create and achieve what is good for me and my life. Yeah, and that's resonating. Excellent. Good, we are on for that. And now say, in my relationship with blank, I take more than I give. Good. And that is off. We are not resonating with that. Say, I don't know how to give. And that is not resonating. That is off. Say, I stop being a victim. And I assume my power. Yeah, nice and strong for that. And just notice what that feels like in your body. And say, blank has a lot to give me. And we're resonating with that. That is on. Excellent. And say, blank accepts feeling vulnerable with me. And this strengthens our relationship. And that is on. We are resonating with that. Beautiful. Say, in my relationship with blank, I take bad temper. From them. We're not resonating with that. That is off. Good. Say, in my relationship with blank, I take honesty. And that is resonating. We are on for that. Good. And just notice what that feels like. Say, I suffer. We're not resonating with that. That is off. Say, in my relationship with blank, I give well-being. Yeah, and nice and strong for that. Beautiful. And say, I see and listen to blank. I give them what they need. And this benefits both of us. And we're resonating with that. Beautiful. Good. Okay. So just take a couple of breaths. Everything has shifted. Sometimes these family systems repatternings can be a little bit esoteric. They're not as straightforward as some of the other repatternings. So if there are some of the patterns that didn't make sense to you, you might contemplate them over the next few days or week or so and just see, maybe you'll come to some insights about it. Just notice your relationship. That was the focus of this repatterning. Notice how you're feeling in the relationship. Notice how your perceptions about the relationship change. Carol asked, can this be with authority figures, with the government? Yes, yep, it can. It doesn't have to be a specific person. It could be a group of people or a system. Yeah. Yeah. So that last statement about restraint, that was the modality. So we're not going to actually check our resonance with that, because that was what was needed in terms of the modality that we did. That was the input of energy. Yeah. Yeah. So Carol said, although this didn't specifically seem relevant to current relationships, it was right on for the core archetypal issues, right? Especially mother, father, God. So, right. Sometimes these repatternings, the family repatternings, you can relate to them more in terms of archetypal issues or societal, big, broad societal patterns. So great. So I'm just going to check. There's anything more needed from this session? No, this session is complete. Yes, great, good. Well, thank you for joining in. I want to let you know that tomorrow I'm going to be doing the Imbolc repatterning, recharge and revitalize yourself, the repatterning for the water element proxy group session tomorrow. You can go to liztobin.com/store if you want to join that. It's $43 US. I'm going to put the link here in the chat room. And I'm happy to stay on the line if you have any questions or any insights or sharings that you'd like. That would be much appreciated. Letitia says, thank you so much. Just what I needed. You're most welcome. So glad you joined in. Sherwood says, thank you. Thank you, everybody. And you're welcome, Sherwood. My pleasure. Beautiful. So yeah, you could just unmute yourself if you have any questions or anything that you want to share. Put us on gallery view here. Yeah. And you can also go back and do this repatterning again if you feel like you need to. It'll be posted up on YouTube and you can watch it again and do the repatterning again. You know what they say, you never jump into the same river twice. So you can redo a repatterning and you'll do it from a different perspective. It's like, you know, watching a movie or taking a class or reading a book again. It's always different the next time around. So you might notice you go deeper, or maybe you do this with another, you choose another relationship in your life and see what happens there.
Hey, Elizabeth, I have a question.
Yes, Lynn.
One of the things I noticed was kind of a reverse, taking negativity or irritation from the other person. I find often when I'm with them, I get irritated with them.
Okay, yeah. So that could be the same pattern, but just right. So maybe you're taking their irritation, but you're experiencing it as your own.
That could be.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, I'd be interested to hear how this shifts for you. If you
Yes,
notice.
I'm very much looking forward.
Yeah, excellent. Yeah, yeah. Thanks for bringing that up.
Yeah, thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome.
What's the connection between having confidence in myself and ability to create and achieve with the rest of the giving and receiving pattern?
It may have to do with the focus of this repatterning was that we are taking more than we're giving. And
Right.
so it might have to do with when we feel that we're confident within ourselves, we're not codependent with somebody else,
Mhm.
that we're not looking to them to give us or do for us what we could actually be doing for ourselves.
Right. I think I put in the chat that I had just had this awareness through meditation that a family member who has cut me off, it's been very difficult to know how to approach this person. I mean, it's not like he's really presently giving more than I receive, except that he sends me a little gift once a year. But I do feel that he feels that way from the past. You know, there's a resentment because I received a lot from my family. So it's pretty much the same dynamic, and he's very fearful I'm going to want from him. I mean, that's my very intense feeling about it. And it's amazing that I just had this awareness, you know, that after many years of shifting things and going, let me think about how it feels to be him, rather than coming from my viewpoint that he's withholding and really making me suffer with his distance. And saying, what, and then I asked the question, what do you need from me? What can I give you that would help you heal this? You know, what do you need? And so, like, when this came up, it was pretty amazing. um I mean, I guess I was right in sync with this thing. And the only thing I want to ask is that um when someone has cut you off that way, I mean, the thing is, um there is this thing about being vulnerable, and there's also about the part on me, and there definitely has been a thing about stop being a victim and assume my power, which I have been working towards. I mean, all these statements were so true and on point. But do I keep working on myself with this, or do I just send him a note, or, you know, how is that? How, I mean, I really believe this is the key, but it's kind of scary because I tried to approach this from many angles and kind of, I mean, you can't tell me what to do, but, you know, is there action involved? Do I call him, you know, or do I just keep working within myself to shift the pattern? I guess is my question.
Yeah, that's a good question. And, you know, you're right. I can't tell you what to do. However, you might notice after this session that you do get some clarity and you might feel drawn to do something or not. And I think what you mentioned about family members, especially the family members who are older than us, you know,
Yeah.
they experience in us and they see us sometimes as who we were.
Right.
And so the fact that you've gone through a journey of transformation and growth, and he doesn't know who you are right now, right?
Right.
That's very
Exactly.
common.
And
And
he doesn't
yet,
know.
when we shift our energy, sometimes the people in our family, because we're so connected to them, they do sense that. And sometimes it's like we've downloaded a new program, and everybody in the family system has access to the key to unlock that program if it is part of their path, destiny, to do so, they will do so. So it may be that even if you never speak to this person again, it may be that by shifting the energy, what you've done is you've balanced the relationship and both of you benefit on subtle levels that you may never consciously know about.
Yeah, but it's going to free me up, and I'm going to feel less responsible in somehow trying to fix this.
Right.
And just shifting my consciousness around it. This, I mean, I've been working on it, as I said, in different ways, but I feel like this, what I like about the repatterning is that you give us concrete statements that are very insightful, that we can, resonate with, so that there can be an internal shift rather than like hitting my head against the wall, like,
Right.
should I, or should I just, should I ignore this whole situation and go on with my life, but it still bothers me. There's always that tug of sorrow and grief around it. And this was really, I know I'm going to need to rest. This was like really powerful, really. I feel really grateful. I feel like, it's right in alignment with I think it's important that we have these inner shifts. Like if we don't, then we can go through repatterning and it may temporarily feel good, but it's not going to, I think it's not going to manifest in the same way as if we have that inner recognition.
Right. Yeah, the awareness, definitely. That's what I like about the repatterning process is it illuminates these patterns in very specific and concrete ways, like you mentioned. And sometimes I will do a session and I don't know what the heck a pattern might mean. And yet in the days, weeks, sometimes months later, it dawns, okay, now I understand. Now I see this at work in my life. Now I get the insight. Yeah. And when we shift our energy so that we're not as connected in pain and grief and sorrow with other people, it's very freeing for us and it's very freeing for them. It's like we're actually, cutting energetic cords.
Right.
That pain, sorrow, grief, resentment, anger, whatever it is that we're holding is an energetic hook into the other person. And so when we can shift that, we free both of us.
Yeah, what I was feeling, because I have a chanting meditation group, and we have a little, we study scripture, Sanskrit scriptures, and we have discussions. And what I was, it's like we have these stories in our head that just, kind of go round and round and round. And I liked what it said about being a victim, because that can be such a powerful hook, to see, especially if people have wronged you, it's so easy to say I'm a victim and, I'm suffering, rather than what happened to me was this shift made me feel less subjective about this person, and shifted so the story could finally change.
Right.
And not, like you said, not have the same hold on me, because the story is going to not, just be the same loop.
Yeah. Yeah. Great. Well, thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah. Anybody else have something you want to add or any questions? Joanna, yes.
Hi there. Thank you, Liz.
You're welcome.
Thank you, everyone. I was fascinated. Just want to share that what caught me by total surprise, it always does, but the first sentence, I enjoyed joining a new group. How this links to this whole process. So I'm just doing a graduation project, and somehow I don't want to be part of that new group. I realized that that was part of why I'm struggling. So, and then so the whole other process supported that. So I'm really grateful for that link of giving and receiving and enjoying joining a new group. So thank you very much.
You're
I'm
welcome.
grateful for this one.
Excellent. You're welcome. Beautiful. Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else have anything to add or any questions? Okay, great. Well, thank you for joining in, and we'll be back next month, first Monday in March. You can subscribe to my YouTube channel and you'll get the notifications of when the videos are up. If you would like to join in the rejuvenation repatterning tomorrow, I put the link in the chat box. I'll also put the link to underneath the recording when that's up. So that's going to be tomorrow. It's a recharge and revitalize yourself, repatterning for the water element. So thank you so much, everybody. I so enjoy facilitating these, and I'm so grateful to you all for showing up every month, because this is why I do it. Thank you so much.
Oh, thank
Thank
you
you,
for
Elizabeth. That was
giving
wonderful.
so much.
Bye-bye, everybody.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Liz. It's great.
You're
Very
welcome.
helpful.
Thank you, Liz.
Bye.